Hello, everybody. My name is Misty Tripoli. I am the founder of the World Group Movement and the Creative Body Group. So I do a dance app. I like to get people grooving and moving their body. But today, we are doing another chit chat with my mom, Wendy Cicchetti. Now, my mom is a world-renowned astrologer. Not just that, she does tarot and spiritual counseling, and you name it, she does it. And we like to have these little chit chats because we want to keep up on what's going on astrologically that's affecting us and things that we might want to know and should know. So, mom, oh, and you can contact all the information if you want to like get a private reading with her or you want to have some spiritual counseling, whatever that might be. All her information is below. And trust me, it's worth the time and effort to do it. It's life-changing. So, mom, what be going down? What's the good, the bad, and the ugly for 2023? Where are we at?
Oh, goodness. Well, there's a lot going on, a lot. And um, I wanted to get more specific this time about some things happening in 2023. Now, if you want to get into the generalization of all of the things for 2023, look at our last video that we did, because that goes into the generalization where I talked about the change in planets. The planets are changing signs and there'll be elemental changes, and that all of the planets are going to be direct. And we're going to talk about that more specifically today. So there are huge other changes coming that will be a turning point for humanity as the old order and systems break down, and they're breaking down right in real time, right in front of us. And new systems are created for the betterment of all the world and humanity. This is all good. And even though it's rocky, and even though it's loud, because a lot of the bad actors are, having to face the reality that the people are seeing the truth, it's all good, because we have to see the truth. It has to collapse in order for us then to move forward and create a better system.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about. It's reached a point with the one world government and that kind of thing, new world order, where it's all about a global takeover. And that's not what we want. We want our sovereignty. We want to be able to make choices and not be in captivity to a one world order. So there are two particular areas I want to focus on today that are important. First, I want to talk about Mercury and Mars. Now, both Mercury and Mars are retrograde right now, but both of them will be going direct within the next 10 days, I think. And then Uranus will go direct on the 23rd. So there won't be any planets retrograde for a period of time, which is wonderful. And which means everything's going to go faster. But when you deal with Mercury, has to do with communication, right? Now, Mercury is in Capricorn, which has to do with government, information about government and big business and big money and big institutions, okay? And then Mars is in Gemini. So Mercury is the ruler of communication and also the ruler of Gemini. And so Mars and Mercury together are helping create this huge volume of communication about what's really going on in the world. Also, the eclipses. And I've mentioned this before, that those eclipses in October and November were about information coming out of the shadows, right? And trust me, that's what's really going on. And a couple of times in the next period of time, the next few weeks, Mercury will be in aspect to Mars, in an aspect, and it's a hard aspect called a quincunx, and it's very discordant and very chaotic, which means people are going to be confused. They're going to hear one thing and maybe they'll hear something else. And so they'll feel like the pieces aren't all fitting together. Now, that will be for a period of time. But once that's over, and I think by March, people are going to be much more stable in their understanding of the truth of things. But there's going to be a little bit of this back and forth, wondering how come all the pieces aren't fitting together. Now, I've told you this before, and I'm going to tell you again. Human beings do not make substantive changes unless they're in pain or uncomfortable.
I always say the pain is the great motivator.
That's right. And so what we're going to be seeing and going through is going to make us feel very uncomfortable. And so just plan on that. I think it was Pema Chodron, and I love her. She's such a wonderful mentor. She was a mentor of mine. And she says, you must learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's what we have to sit with, is the fact that these changes are massive. They're huge that are coming forth. And we've got to be able to sit and be at peace and be okay with things appearing and everything around us seeming very uncomfortable and very chaotic.
Because it's all these big systems that
That's
run
right.
our lives. So when they start collapsing, of course, that's going to create confusion and discord, like, but what a great opportunity.
I know. Well, it's a great mastery opportunity. Through the last couple of years, fear has been weaponized to control us. The legacy media is all about creating fear in people. Well, we don't want that. The changes are good, everybody. And we have to be at peace and have faith that these changes will bring about much better situations for all of us, where it relates to government, where it relates to money, and all the things in our lives, education, the medical freedom that we desire. All of those things are part of it. Okay. And it will end up being very, very good for us, but we have to stay the course. We can't quit because it gets hard. We've got to stay and fight. And I mean that by saying fighting to be connected to source and not to give up and not to be despondent and discouraged because we don't see what we want right away. It takes time. Okay. And so, so with all of the planets moving forward, okay, we're going to get a different type of information. Now, when planets are retrograde, especially Mercury and Mars, we're dwelling on things of the past. Okay, that's what retrogrades do. They take us to the past, and that's what we've been doing. Oh my gosh, look at what happened in the last couple of years. Okay, but when they start moving direct and start moving rapidly, then we're going to be talking about what's going on right now and what we want to go on in the future.
Is this also on a personal level?
Yes.
So, because I know you were talking about like Mercury's and that, it's about government, it's about this, it's about that. But this also affects us all individually. So is it like, even if we see ourselves reflecting on the past in our own lives, is that same, like it has to do with us as well, personally,
Yes.
correct?
Oh, absolutely. Mercury globally is impacting everyone. Now, it will
Right.
impact some people stronger than others. A person who has, like you, who have a Capricorn moon, and Mercury is retrograde in Capricorn, you're going to feel it more acutely than another person who maybe doesn't have that. You see what I'm saying? But yes, it will affect all of us. And I've personally, all of a sudden, I find myself thinking of something in the past going, where did that come from? I haven't thought about that in a long, long time.
Yep.
So everybody's experiencing a little bit of that. And I wouldn't take it seriously, just as it's part of what's going on. And sometimes when these type of memories come up, we can say, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I don't need to think about that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking because I'm finding that I'm having a very difficult time letting go of the past right now. It's a really interesting thing. Like normally it's like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, whatever, done and gone. But I'm having a really difficult time letting go of certain things
Yeah.
that happened to me in the past. And I'm just like, whoa, this is really like, it's like something like it's just holding on to it. Like you need to stay in the past.
Yeah. And wait until the retrogrades are over, and give yourself a week or two after the retrogrades are over and see if it still is impacting you in that way. Like I say, with you having a moon in Capricorn, you know, it's going to be more prominent for people like you that have that. Okay.
Interesting. So anyone out there that's going through the same thing, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Now, also, these planets deal with mass communication and the media. The media knows how to control the masses and the narrative, right? All of this will be coming to an end before too long. Yep. Now, March will be a very pivotal month with all the planets moving fast, no retrogrades, you know, they're at comfortable speeds. So all of the information, all of the energies that these individual planets are involved in, you know, they're going to be working their work, doing their work upon the planet and upon all of us. Now, I view what's been going on with the narrative, okay? It's like a great big huge dam that's been created to hold back the truth. And we've seen little holes poked in that dam, okay? And cracks are starting to form. But before long, that dam is going to come down, and floods of truth, floods of information, and it is unstoppable.
And that information is going to blow people's minds.
It's going to blow people's minds. So prepare for the ugly and the bad, because that information is going to come out. But that doesn't mean that you have to feel ugly and bad, okay? Is that you go, ah, this is what they've been hiding. Ah, this is what created that. And then you move forward with love and peace, and to create new manifestations for yourself, and how you're going to make it through these rocky, loud times in peace with a peaceful heart. And that's what's real important. But once that dam goes, the flood of truth and the evidence will flood the airways. But the way it is right now with the legacy media, you know, they don't report on everything. So we'll finally be shown the truth. Okay, there's going to be more explosive information. There are going to be more explosions on Earth, more eruptions. Okay, I saw just the last couple of days 2 major explosions. One in Russia, and that's not the part where they're fighting, and then another one here in the United States. A chemical plant exploded, and of course the volcanic eruptions. That's all part of it. The increase in the storms and the flooding, that's all part of it. Earthquakes, that's part of it. And we're going to see more of those within the next 2 or 3 months too. I'm sure of that. There's a great shaking everything loose. And I'm so glad to see it, you know, because I've known that there was stuff being hidden for a long time. And I'm glad that this shaking is happening to wake people up to the truth. Okay. The other main area of concern is the United States chart and our Pluto return in that chart. Now, a Pluto return, and it only happens to about 1/3 of the people at any given time, because Pluto takes almost 250 years. I think it's 248 years to go around the zodiac. So a Pluto return doesn't happen for everybody in a lifetime. But
Interesting.
right. But so 250 years after our country was created, we're having a Pluto return. Okay.
Now, when you say it was created, that date is the date of the Constitution, or what date are you referring to?
July
Like the
4th.
date? July 4th.
July 4th, yeah. And I don't remember the exact time of it, but that's the chart. It's called the Sibley chart. and they've put a lot of work into its accuracy. And so Pluto resides in the second house in the US chart. Well, the second house is the house of money and values. Now, Pluto represents the death and rebirth of things. So what that tells me is that our values will be changing completely, which they need to. We need to get back to a constitutional republic, which has been destroyed. And we need our money, our finances, what's going on with money is going to die and be reborn into something else. And that's going to be part of what the discomfort is for people. Okay. But
How long is Pluto there?
uh,
Like, how long is this process?
process is, well, it started about a year ago. It's been in orb of influence, and it's going to be in the orb of influence for another couple of years anyway. But point being, these are things that will be changing. Okay. And Pluto also represents rejuvenation. So our country is going to be rejuvenated back to where it was, when it was founded. It's going to bypass all of the things and laws that have passed that have destroyed it. And this rejuvenation is going to bring it back to what it was initially. And I think things will happen too, because as we've seen with unrestrained capitalism, is that that's a problem. And I think there's some things that have to happen that prevent the Bill Gates and the George Soros and, all of these people that have so much money, they feel that they have power to do whatever they want to do. So I think there's going to be some restriction on unrestrained capitalism, but the basic tenets will be there. But we have to pass laws based on our experience that there haven't been enough to regulate what's gone on and what these people have done. So anyway, also with this death in what we value, we're going to see so many scandals and upsets and controversy about what's really been going on. So watch this closely as we're witnessing the dismantling of the United States. And it's happening right before our eyes. So this is also good, as it is necessary for a more respectable and for a people-centered republic to flourish. And one of the things about Saturn in Aquarius right now is it's about the people, the importance of the people, and not just the importance of the government, right? And remember that a birth is painful. I know, I had 7 kids. I can tell you. A birth is painful. And so as we rebirth this country, it's going to be uncomfortable. So just expect that. Also know that through these choppy times, that a lot more community and local groups will be gathering and forming local communities. And that's what needs to happen. So you need to be finding who's local in your area where you can find like-minded people, like frequency people, who believe like you do and who are willing to help. You need to find your unique personality to fit into these. What can you uniquely do to help others, on a local level? But don't sit back and expect the government to help you. Ain't gonna happen. You've got to be self-sufficient. So anyway, now the Pluto, okay, I've talked about that. Now, what I want to talk about now is too controversial to discuss on this platform on YouTube. So if you want the full uncut video, you'll have to go to my Rumble account, and I'll have the link below, where we'll talk about the things that, in an uncensored way, things that are happening. So,
You get the down and dirty.
yeah.
Yeah, because we've been edited or even censored a couple times for nothing, for saying literally nothing. So if you want the real deal and the lowdown and the smackdown,
Yeah.
go to Rumble and the conversation will continue and you'll get the nitty gritty.
But those
So
who want to just stick with this forum, we'll cut out this part of it, the controversial part, and there'll still be a full, almost a full video for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have to, if this is the end for you on this video, just make sure you like and subscribe. You can get more information. Sign up for my mom's newsletter. She'll send you out a monthly astrological updates and lots of great yummy stuff. And if you're interested in getting your groove on, you can go to getgrooved.com and find out all of the fabulous retreats and events and fun things that we do at the Groove community world.
And they are very worth it. Now, after, I'm still going to talk about some other things on the YouTube platform, 2 or 3 other things once the other part is cut out. It'll just be cut out. You don't even know it was there, and you can just go on and finish the video. So now for the YouTube people, we're back. And so I want to talk about the financial volatility that's happening, and it will be with us for a while. I think it's important that you have some cash on hand, okay? Because, and I know that, and it's something I better not say, but the banks are aware that the FTC may not be stable. So watch for that and have some cash on hand. And, you know, I've told you guys, store food and water. Now, there's a wonderful woman that I love. Misty, did you ever look at her up?
Amazing. The Woman in the Woods or the...
Yeah, it's Rosewood Homestead.
Oh, that's the
Red
other one.
Rose, Red Rose Homestead. And
Red
she
Rose
is
Homestead.
the best prepper I have found. She teaches you how to store everything and how to use things to get the maximum out of it, from food dryers to canners to all of it. Love her. Rose Red Homestead. And I think she'll be helpful to you. She teaches you how to store food and water too. She's all about self-sufficiency. Okay, now, there's going to be a greater push for AI. And don't be conned by the stories that, oh, it's going to be great for convenience. It's really going to be convenient. You know, why not? What was the one you brought up earlier, Misty? The reason that they would push people to do it.
It's for your safety.
Oh, for your safety. That's
It's going to make your life more safe. It's going to heal your body. It's going to do everything. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to be a better human.
Yeah.
Why not be a bionic human?
Well, don't buy into that stuff. We all have to make a choice. Do we want to remain human, or do we want to become a digital entity? That's really what it's all about.
Well,
And
there's a huge push for transhumanism.
I
Like,
know.
it's
Yeah. And if they can chip us and put, you know, things in our brain, they can control us.
yeah.
They can control our thinking, and we don't want that. Everybody has to make a choice. You know, do you want to stay a human? It's like the purebloods that they're talking about. You know, maintain your sovereignty. Okay, so that's happening out all around. We're making massive leaps as it relates to AI in the world. I think we're going to see all kinds of, you know, floating cars. What are they called? And all kinds
The flying cars.
Yeah, flying cars, all kinds of things. There are going to be leaps and bounds of new technology coming out. And I think that's fine. Just don't put stuff in me. I don't want to be digitalized. So use discernment and also self-control. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated back and forth by what they're trying to tell you. We have seen enough over the last couple of years of, just listen to us, we'll save you nonsense, that we should know by now that when they come out with something, the truth is just the opposite. So use your discernment, be careful, be wise. I think it's important that you stay peaceful, that we all stay peaceful, learn to be comfortable, even though things are uncomfortable around us. And
Find ways to make yourself happy.
yes,
Enjoy your life.
yeah.
Do things the simple things of life that give you joy.
And tell
Like,
them about your cenote, Misty.
oh, well, yeah, I'm building an off-grid, fully sustainable, beautiful land out in the jungles of Mexico, and have a big, cenote, which is all fresh water. And, I want to build a beautiful place where I can have my own electricity, my own water, gardens, and produce my own food. And but realizing that it takes a lot of people. I can't do it by myself. It's like like you said, we've got to find local people around. And so I'm really starting to connect with the people that own land close to me and get to know them, because if anything were to happen, we need to know each other, because we need to help each other. And it's great. Like, some of the guys that work for me, they grow lots of food and they bring stuff to me every time they grow things, and it's just this beautiful, a kind of natural exchange of things. Like, oh, I've got pineapples and you've got peppers. Okay, well, we can do a little swappy here. And it's great. And I've got access that if people needed fresh water, I could help people with fresh water that live close to me that didn't have access. So it's kind of cool how we're letting everyone know what we have, how we can help each other. And it's really cool. It's pretty awesome.
And that's the way it needs to be. So find people in your local areas, but do pray. Pray for the exposure of the evil and the new beautiful plans that are coming. There are people out there that are just wonderful, that are creating new wonderful things for us. And pray for your safety and your protection. That's really important, to connect with the God of your understanding and have faith that this new world that's being born is going to be wonderful and much better than we've ever had it.
Yeah. And I also, if resonates with you, the way that I love in my form of prayer too, is gratitude. I don't just ask for things.
Right.
I sit in the gratitude as if I have it now. And thank you for my safety. It feels so good to feel safe. It feels so good to know that I'm protected and that I'm surrounded by people that are helpful. Thank you for, filling my life with amazing people. Because it helps, because I know that emotion is the frequency of the universe and the language of the universe. And so instead of keeping the prayer in your mind, have it come from your heart and put the feeling behind it, and trusting and knowing that whatever created you loves you and wants you to be safe and wants you to have a beautiful life, and to thank whatever, like you said, the God of your understanding,
Right.
as if it's now and forever. Like, I love that. If I know that one of my prayers is, it feels so good to feel safe. Feels so good to be protected and have the things that I need. And I feel so good to be guided. Thank you for guiding me to the right people at the right time. And like creating these kind of really, I'm not the traditional prayer kind of it's wah for me. Like,
Yeah.
I remember going to church when I was younger, and it was fold your arms and repeat this prayer and do this, and and it's just like, okay, but it didn't mean anything. And so put the feel of the mean behind it, the actual, your heart into your prayer. And I think that's one of the keys of connecting with the God of your understanding, and having that communion with that.
Yeah. And believe that we're being delivered.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, for delivering the people of the world from this one world beast system.
Yeah, and it feels so good to have the truth revealed.
Right.
Yes, thank you for revealing the truth and setting us all free. And
all of that stuff. And be in that, and do not quit. Do not give up. I know a lot of people are really impatient. They want to see all this happen right now, but there's certain things that have to happen. And it has to happen maybe in a sequence. And we need to feel some of the pain in order for us to get our asses moving.
And it may, I actually think, be more painful if it all collapsed in one moment.
Right.
because no one would know what to do with themselves. Like, at least with this pace, it's, even though it's frustrating because we just freaking want it, like, yeah, but that way, at the simultaneously as it's collapsing, we have time to build the new. So we like the transition, and it's that birthing, like that we can actually, the baby's developing, but it's painful to get the and then once it's out, then now we have something that's much better for all of us. But that process is going to be kind of, birth. You don't know. It could be 24 hours. It could be 3 hours.
Loud and bumpy.
Yeah, exactly. But the timing it's taking is trust the timing. That's super important. Trust the timing and be a part of the change. Be a part of the new world that we all want to create together. Like, we all want joy, peace, happiness, friendships, great, beautiful work. We all want the same things. Like, it's just
to enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and our passions, and we want that. I want that genuinely for everyone on the planet. Like, be like, like I said, like, whatever created us to be amazing. Like, so be amazing.
Be your amazing selves and do the best you
can. and make sure you fill your day with the things that bring you joy and take out the stress and really balance yourself. Any stress you have in your life, it's so important that you really learn to manage your stress. First of all, identify what is stressing you out, what triggers you, what makes you feel anxious. Notice when that happens, take note of that, and then find some practices that can help you, whether it's breathing, whether it's meditation, whether it's music or nature or whatever it might be, to help you minimize your stress, because you can't keep your body in a high cortisol level. It's just detrimental to your health and your well-being. So it's also taking care of ourselves and making sure that we're monitoring our inner world. We're keeping ourselves, we're keeping ourselves, I like to think of it as like, educated and informed. I know what's going on. Thank you. I will take that information, take it away. And then the rest of my time, I'm just going to focus on my joy. Yeah. And, like, the greatest rebellion is having a beautiful life.
It's true.
It is. You ain't gonna take me down.
Yeah.
You ain't taking me down. Like, I'm gonna rise up, and to have that attitude that, like, we can't let any of this steal our joy, because that's part of the thing. They want us living in fear. They want us weak. They don't want us to, because if we actually all stepped into our power, this world would change overnight.
Yeah. And more and more people are stepping into their power.
Yeah.
And so that's really important that we continue to do that. And to be powerful, and think of ourselves as powerful. There are a lot more of us than there are them. Trust me on that.
Hell yeah.
Got to rise up.
Yep. Hallelujah.
Right.
So just do your best. Stay informed. Is there anything else, Mom, you want to share?
No, I think that'll do it. That's enough.
That's enough. That's enough for now.
Enough for now. There'll be a lot more in another couple of weeks. Trust me.
Couple of weeks. We'll do another chit chat with my mom. So again, like I said before, like and subscribe. Stay connected to Wendy. Again, monthly newsletters, updates, readings, all great stuff.
Sign up for my newsletter. You can do that. I'll have the link below. That's real important for you to keep updated in what I'm doing. Yeah. And the updates are awesome. You get monthly updates on all the astrological things that are happening. And we thank you for being here. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time. Yeah. Love to everybody. Yeah. Ciao for now. Take good care of yourself.